right, coming up on race number 1 for the Monday night series. Right now, the only boat that's even remotely close to the line is 57, but they have set up a little too close to the pin. A pretty decent start, although it looks like they're feathering to get up over the pin. Viking with Paula Thorsgood is really best start near the boat, which is favored end, and they're in a ton of breeze, although they've just got a little bit of a knock. Big pressure kind of rolling down, and not everyone adjusting to it quite as well. This today, Brad was saying, and I completely agree, the racing today is going to be more about setting your boat up properly. And one of the things I was seeing that some boats hadn't done was to make adjustments to the shrouds. So boats that have their shrouds nice and tight are going to be, the rig's going to be a little depowered. It's going to be set up for the stiffer breeze, and so they're just, the boat's going to be a little bit easier to sail. 59 has the, 59 really raked forward a little bit too much, I think, which is going to kind of cause the boat to drive a little bit and make it a little less pinchy. The other thing they're doing is just they're just playing the main, so they're cranking the main in and then easing it out, and it's a little bit easier and you have a little bit more control if you end up playing the Traveler. So main should be cranked in, Traveler should be dropped down to leeward to help depower the boat, and that's just going to help, that leech is going to help keep driving the boat up to windward. So it's, even though it's windy, you want the leech helping to push the boat upwind. So really puffy out there. Boats having a really hard time. They're kind of just getting knocked over a lot. Boats that I think are going to be the most successful are the ones that are able to play the jib the best. I think the most important thing that gets a little bit not quite as much attention as it should in heavy breeze is easing the jib. When you have the jib pinned in and you ease the main, the jib starts kind of pushing air back onto the mainsail, and so you're backwinding your main. And also easing your jib is going to help the boat accelerate forward instead of heeling over on its side. So you can see now on this tack, you can see when boats start to get knocked over, you can see them stall out, whereas boats that are going to be easing the jib a little bit are going to be accelerating forward in puffs instead of sideways. So 54, I'm not sure who that is, but they are absolutely screaming. I'm not sure they've got enough room to make it out in front of those two other boats, 71 and 57, but 54 with a ton of boat speed. Or it might be 64. 64, sorry. But 64, they might not be sailing quite as high, but it looks like they're kind of netting out on that. And 71 is getting trucked over. So we have 57 around the windward mark first. Being very conservative and not flying the chute, which is probably a good move on this very short run. I don't even think they're far enough ahead that even if the boats behind them pop a chute, I don't think they have enough runway to catch them. So 57 have a little bit of trouble getting the wing going. They need to just kind of sail down a little bit more to get the jib to fill. But right now they're kind of just sailing in like a no man's land for the jib. So just need to be sailing a little bit lower to help the jib fill, and then you kind of heat it back up a bit once it's already over on that side. Oh, 50, 57, very late set. That's probably not going to help them, although it's kind of a hot angle. We've got another boat back there too, so not Cygnus, but Impulse, I think, is popping a chute in the back. So 57 looks like it's pretty under control. They're kind of on the tail end of the big pressure that was coming through, so that actually wasn't the worst move. I got it up pretty late, so not sure it helped a ton, but And they're already going for a takedown, so probably about 40 seconds of spinnaker. A little bit of trouble getting the guy to come around. Very late takedown, but they're getting it in. So one really important thing the skipper can do during a spinnaker takedown to help out is to pull the starboard spinnaker sheet, to pull slack into it, because you want to make sure that that's running freely. What happens a lot of times is once the sheet kind of gets hung up on the forestay, the boat, the sheet doesn't really want to run anymore. So if you're sitting in the back of the cockpit and you can just pull a little bit of slack into it, it can be a huge help for your crew. Grace Wander still, I think, holding on to a lead. There's a little bit of a righty that bailed them out. They had a really wide rounding, and Viking was able to get inside, but they're out on the rail now, and they're starting to move forward pretty well. So big righty coming through, and that's just going to help Grace Wander a little bit more. But they're pinching a little too much. So got to get the bow down and just get going. And that's a big enough righty that I'd say you almost want to just tack into that immediately. But they are covering the fleet. So, but the righty did help them out a ton. I'm not sure they'd be beating Viking right now if they hadn't gotten that. So, all four of those boats really taken into that righty, and nobody's tacked on it yet. Even though they'd almost be pointing at the mark, they're also sailing into no pressure over on the right side. So, really surprised nobody's tacked yet. Those boats are way down. And now the breeze is starting to go back left, so they completely just sailed in a header for not a lot of reason that I can tell. Yeah, Viking, yeah, I think if Grace Wander had tacked and crossed when they had their chance, I'm not sure they're able to anymore, so Viking might be pinning them out. It's kind of hard to tell, especially with all the rain. But all those boats in a big header again, and again, no one tacking. Viking's the first to go, and Grace Wander's going to go shortly after. But those boats are going to be in the most pressure. But Viking's getting into it first. In the lead, you can see them sort of accelerating out a little bit more, and then Grace Wander's just sort of on the edge of that puff. So they sort of just sailed themselves off the puff a little bit, and both those boats might be overstood. But all right, so Viking and Grace Wander have rounded the windward mark, and we've got 64 just behind. Viking is this boat in the middle of the picture right now, and they are duking it out with 57 on the left. Viking was able to get a lead. I think what happened was both boats overstood, and they didn't really have to tack to the mark. So just by virtue of being the first boat to tack, I think Viking, and also getting into pressure a little bit sooner, Viking was able to take the lead from Grace Wander when they basically, Grace Wander just went a little bit too far to the right and didn't capitalize on an opportunity to tack and cross that they probably should have taken a little sooner. Also looks like pressure is going to be rolling down towards Viking a little bit, so Viking in a little bit better breeze right now on our right, and so I think they're just going to be able to hold on to that lead pretty easily.